What's up and welcome back. This is the other Zoe. Not this. I'm John Stark. I'm that's who I'm not Zoe. Zoe was just here though, and she said you should click subscribe. She also said something about somebody being double parked outside. I was like, I'm a blind film critic. I would love to take care of that for you if I had the car keys. And I don't know. She wouldn't help me get the car keys. I don't. She just left. That's who the other Zoe really is. Anyway, big fan though of my channel though, so click subscribe. Um, this is this is I'm just gonna use this term straight to video. It's just, yeah, teen comedy that I've seen on the VOD lists for a while, and I'm like, what is this film? I don't want to watch this film. And then suddenly it's on Prime Video, and I'm like, all right, I'll watch this film. Oh, surprise! It doesn't have audio description. Like on the same day that I'm watching this film that just navigated the way away from theaters with the cast of a whole bunch of younger people that I just don't know. I feel like I've heard the name Drew Starkey before, though. I'm not really sure why. I looked at the resume and I was like, I don't know why I know you. And it does have Heather Graham. Did not have a great 2023. And also, it's just like a couple. Anyway, but just like when I saw Heather Graham, I was like, best Christmas ever. Yeah, so Heather Graham, I guess, just gets hired for things now, including The Other Zoe, which is on Prime Video for Prime subscribers right now without audio description, because that's how much they care. I love that they didn't even bother to put TTS on this. Somebody the other day was asking me about Escape Plan 2, and they're like, oh, it's on Netflix with TTS. Does that mean Netflix is doing TTS now? And I was like, no. That means that movie is ass. it's it's a straight to video sequel that no one cared about, and they just threw shit on it. I'm surprised there is audio description on it. Because of the nature of the cheapness. Usually when you make things straight to video, you're trying to make them as cheaply as humanly possible and cut as many budgets and corners as whatever you can do. The original cast didn't come back. You're stuck with, I don't know, someone else. Michael J. White, probably. I have no idea. But, yeah, so who knows who's in that? I didn't even look it up. But, yeah, it's not a Netflix thing. Netflix just took the track. So actually, kudos to Netflix for bothering to seek out what the available audio track was. It just happens to be TTS because the filmmakers of Escape Plan 2 feel like that best represents their film. So I would have expected this to be TTS on The Other Zoe. It just doesn't exist, which is also on brand for a film that couldn't get a major theatrical release and just kind of winded up here. So it's a teen comedy. It's one of those things where like the girl like is super against like true love. It's one of those things you've seen 1,000 times before where the girl's like, I don't believe in true love. And it was like, what? How do you not believe in true love? Explain. And she's like, well, I mean, like, it's all just really silly, like the idea of it all. And like, I don't like rom-coms because like there's always like this girl and she's got like make a grand gesture to the guy at the end of the film. And like, it's just like really demeaning. And I created an app where people can like find each other based on, okay, so she created an app. So she actually does want to find romance, but she wants to find compatibility. She wants to find somebody that she is algorithmically compatible with, and that is what this is about. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen for her. She has a while you were sleeping moment and starts living vicariously in a rom-com, basically. She just goes along with it. She's like, you know what? I don't like romantic comedies or romance, but oh my god, he's so cute. But the doctor said not to disturb him. So I don't want to disturb him. I'll just pretend. This is very nice. This movie is very predictable and very dumb. And exactly everything that you want it to be in just a light, fluffy, whatever romantic comedy. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It just can't help the fact that you're like, well, I know everything about this movie that I've ever needed to know, you know, way before the halfway mark. Like, way before. You know exactly where this movie's headed. It does nothing to surprise you. Nothing changes. Nothing's like, wow, that was groundbreaking. That was such a right. Man, they really took that and turned that around and flipped it on its head. I love what they did there with that romantic comedy trope. It's like, no, it's one of those films again where they took a girl who's not into romantic comedies or romance and they made her into romance. You can watch better versions of this in, I don't know, 10 Things I Hate About You. Is just a better version of this if you want to see teens going through virtually, you know, the same thing where like a girl's trying to be convinced that love is real. And Hawkeyes can be cute and funny, and we don't have to have anything in common, and we can just fall in love anyway. Oh my god, it is all of that. People will like this. I actually kind of am joking about it, but I'm really shocked. Like a studio didn't look at this and go, "I can market this to teens," like because we've been marketing this film to teens under different names for years. Like this is in every generation there is a Slayer. I've got my Buffy the Vampire Slayer shirt on. So it reminded me of that. I was like, in every generation there is a romantic comedy about a woman who does not like romantic comedies and does not believe in true love, and believes in finding a compatible mate. She will learn that the hot guy is her compatible mate. Yeah, it's exactly everything that you think it's going to be. No moral story at the end, just exactly the romantic comedy. Go ahead and predict it right now. Just think in your head and be like, that's the end. That's how it ends. Sadly it doesn't have audio description because even though I'm really on the fence here about the grade because I actually didn't have a problem with it. Mainly because it's so obvious. But I was thinking about all the things that I didn't know. Like, because of audio description, I never know what anybody looks like. I never knew what anybody was wearing. I never knew what their houses looked like, what their apartments looked like. Just a lot of things, you know, any scene, scenario, place, person, place, thing. I never knew what anything looked like because I just followed dialogue. And yeah, I can follow the dialogue of this film. It's not that smart. It's just not a very intelligent film. It's mildly entertaining because it literally fell out of like a formula book. It's like somebody in the kitchen had a cookbook and followed the directions to the point, like perfectly, and brought the food out and then handed it to me and then wants to be called a chef. And I'm like, you're not a chef. You just followed a chef's cookbook to the letter. Those are two totally different things. Yeah. So, can you follow this? I'm an audio description advocate, right? Okay. I would be remiss in saying that there is anything about this film that is even remotely hard to follow without audio description. I believe in all of you. I believe all of us have the intelligence to be able to follow this from beginning to end. So unfortunately, I'm grading this because while I acknowledge the fact that the lack of accessibility gives me a whole bunch of things that I should and shouldn't know about this film. I don't think any of those things are gonna help or hurt this film. Um, there's one crucial scene, but they talk about it so damn much that you end up basically knowing what it is anyway. And there's a crucial scene where the hot guy gets hit by a car so he can get amnesia and mistake the main girl for his girlfriend. That's why there's the other Zoey, because his girlfriend's name is Zoey, but this girl's name is Zoey. It's really not that, this is not that smart of a movie. Anyway, so of course he has to get hit by a car so he can wake up and be like, Zoey? Oh. He has just enough amnesia to not remember which Zoe is his girlfriend, but he remembers everybody else about his family. Like, he has short-term memory loss. Apparently, him and Zoe have not been dating for more than a couple weeks, so he's able to forget his real Zoe girlfriend. That's the twist, but we don't get to see the accident. It's not really a twist, because at the point, it's actually revealed that that's what it is, but which is early in the movie. But yeah, so there's like a car accident that we don't get audio description for. Shocker. So if you want to hold out because that's not described, totally valid. Otherwise, the rest of the film is just people talking and following romantic comedy tropes the entire film. I'm not really sure this is good or bad. I think some people will enjoy it. I think other people will hate it. It's, it brings nothing to the genre. It does nothing for anybody. The cast is fine. Nobody here is terrible. There wasn't one person giving an absolutely atrocious performance where I was just like, oh. I've seen some performances this year that are just like, who are you? And why did they hire you? No, everybody's just sort of on brand for this. It felt like AI generated an entire movie with an entire cast of people. And if there weren't like a couple of people in here that I actually recognize, I would assume this whole thing it was like Simone, that Al Pacino movie, and everybody is like a fake actor. And this movie never really was shot. It was just made on an AI computer somewhere. So yeah, I'm making an exception, and because to call this film unwatchable, really just is demeaning your intelligence at this point. I sat through this. I could have missed an hour of this film and come back in and not felt like I missed anything. I just been like, oh, we're here. Oh, okay. Well, clearly I missed a couple things, but feels like we've moved along in the plot exactly where I thought we were going to be. So, yeah, welcome to the most predictable romantic comedy of the year. I'm going to give The Other Zoey a C. A Z. A C. Just right down the middle. It wants to be nothing more than average, so I'm going to give it average. That's what it wants to be. It's just your average romantic comedy. I think it is an average romantic comedy. That's what happens when you paint by numbers. When you work from a cookbook. I think a lot of critics would be really hard on this. So they'd be like, it's dumb and it offers nothing, and it's just something we've seen 1,000. Yeah, I know, but sometimes that's because it's following this like perfect little like layout. And I just think that means this film is incredibly just generic, right down the middle. So, watch it, don't watch it. I really think the only people who are going to watch this are people who are just like, I love romantic comedies. All of them. All must be consumed. So, I don't know who this is for, but anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please go ahead and click subscribe, because I do like to review films and talk about why we need audio description. I also can't insult your intelligence when a film is this just obvious. It feels like it's every romantic comedy that's ever happened before it. It's not. It's so easy. This is nothing to this film. This is a nothing film. Click like. I don't get enough of those. I have a website, macthemovieguy.com. You can go to X Threads or Instagram and follow me at Mac the Movie Guy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description, where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's narrating, who's working on audio description. It's like IMDb for narrators. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.